at the first Army boot camp for the 2024 season.
So my relationship began actually because of Kent.
Hello and welcome into H.E.P Stadium.
I naturally just like to help people and kind of have that about me, I guess.
From Daytona International Speedway, as we welcome you for the first time in 40 years, Supercross in Alabama, downtown Birmingham's protected stadium. And we have a packed house here at Lucas Oil Stadium in downtown Indianapolis. Welcome. You didn't come on? Hey.
So Brands Hatch is a great track in England. Would it go out? Would it go out right away?
And there's the ghost of your rival without a noise.
Where's Dana over there?
Where's Dana?
Yep, that's me.
Oh, that's not Dana. I thought you were
damage
Dana.
on.
Damage is not.
Okay, that's good.
You're ashamed
Maybe
of
just right foot brake, because that's how I drive in my car, right? I can't watch the brake pedal with my left foot.
I don't feel so bad about talking junk about Dana now. And going off in the first corner. Dude, my wrist. Look, that's back-to-back corners. Dude, it's like, well, I don't know if it's because my driving was so bad, but my wrist never got a break. So it's hard. It's hard.
Here's the record row. That's the guy in the game, isn't it? Have you seen it? In the second one. So that's how I'm doing. Record row.
We might have.
I got some picture of my kids.
As I said before, Ron Brown, I'm a Halo franchise ambassador. One of my jobs is to actually work for the curator of our museum, Corinne Robinson, who actually heads up our franchise team. So she's me and Jeff's boss. And so the way that this museum is set up is that you're actually meandering back and forth through the years of Halo and chronological order of their release. And so this would be a prop weapon. This one actually from Halo Season 2. If you were so inclined, they design prop weapons differently for different things. Some prop weapons are actually light and squishy.
This is where I got
How
started.
the stuff just doubled. Like, we needed 2 cases for Halo 3 because this is where you start to get into the pieces that people want to like have in their homes. Like, that was M for mature. That was the first Halo was M for mature. Mega Bloks did not have the same hold up, and so they've actually just been a really good partner since.
Do it.
Parade lap.
Yeah, opening ceremonies.
Do it.
I'm just not in opening ceremonies. You know what we should do? We should stage it where like one of us are laying down. It's one of the golden rules.
That is in comparison.
Well, when I made the switch over to H.E.P, the idea was to build their infrastructure into a team that could handle that type of rider. Everything just happened so quick, you know. Ken came out and rode the bike after we had just done like maybe a couple weeks of testing on it, and he liked it, and one thing led to another, and all of a sudden he was on the team, and it was like, oh my gosh, okay. I had no time to really build the infrastructure any different than what they kind of had. I just kind of patched some holes and ran it a little bit different, but yeah, it was. It's pretty exciting. It was just really nerve-wracking because, you know, you have a lot of pressure on you. You know, you can't let the rider down. He's a top guy, so we had to definitely work our tails off and get everything up and running quickly.
Welcome to Monster Energy AMA Supercross and Lumen Field in downtown Seattle.
Better than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to walk into a lake, but they did a good job. They always do.
It looks pretty basic right now, but hopefully the rain will hold off because, you know, obviously the places that they haven't covered is a bit wet, but the rest looks pretty dense, so it should be all right.
Muddier than I thought it would be. On track walk, the jumps were actually pretty good. The bottom, as always, was kind of sloppy, but not terrible. The dirt seemed pretty firm walking on it, but it definitely soft underneath. So all the rhythms, everything's pretty ruddy, and then the base, just the bottom of the track, is just kind of slimy, sloppy mud. So it's really slippery, but then underneath that, you know, you go down a few inches, it gets kind of sticky and tacky, so it's pretty inconsistent. Like, you don't know if you're gonna slide or if it's gonna catch. So trying to get a good read on the dirt is tough. But yeah, like I said, softer and ruddier, muddier than I thought it was gonna be after track walk.
Something when we started this team is we really wanted to connect with the fans, and I feel like since we brought on, you know, riders that are popular like Ken, like Shane, like Kyle, we've definitely filled those goals. And the fans, they come out in droves, and as you can see the lines here, they wait a long time to get their own autographs, and it's really neat to have the fan support, because that's ultimately what we want to do, is, you know, be a team of the fans. You know, we want to win the race too, but we also want people to follow the team. So it's pretty neat to see how the fans have taken it and taken to our team, and we love it.
So the track here in Seattle is really tough today. It's real sloppy on top, and it's not pulling the bikes down, they're just sliding around on top. So it's been difficult all day. We can't find a good setting or tire selection, so we're just going to go with it and see what happens. It's a little bit risky, but I don't think we have a choice. We just need to wing it and see what happens. I mean, quite a bit of the development just comes from us. You know, we have a lot of notes from years in the past of things that they had done, and we go off some of that, but really it's just me and Kyle that kind of came up with the style of the bike the way it is now. You know, Kyle does all the testing. I kind of come up with all the ideas and build the product, and we test with Kyle. Kyle chooses what feels best to him, and then we take it to Ken. That's the way the process has been going, and seems to go well. So.
Bring the 450s to the gate. And we lose Roczen. Uh-oh.
We lost Roczen. Okay, watch. Kenny's going to make the move. Bye, Eli. All is good. Oh! And what happened was there was like a dirt clod at the beginning of the rut, and it forced Ken's bike to go over. Really, that was just a racing incident. That wasn't Kenny's fault. Just wrong place, wrong time. Gonna have to be a Hail Mary. Anything can happen. It's all on Kenny Roczen.
450 LCQ. Rockets out of the gate. Does Roczen? Can he lead them in? He does. Can he lead them out? Roczen pulls clear. Ghostbusters whole shot. flag. Ken Roczen is 1-0 now in his career in last chance qualifiers. And if they're going to do it, it's going to happen right now.
Look who's second place.
Are you kidding me? Ken Roczen from the outside? Second?
Oh, this is no surprise.
Man, it was a tough night all around. To be honest, as a team, we never have good luck at Seattle. So coming in, I was pretty nervous. And just seeing how the day kind of unfolded with Ken, we never got a fast lap. I think we qualified 12th, then fell in the heat. You know, had to go to the LCQ, Ken's first ever LCQ. Super nervous there. And, you know, to win that, he got some good track time and then actually had a little bit of a gear issue as the 32nd board went up. So for him to even get that start and, you know, run up front, I think against all these factors and all these odds, I think were a big win for us. Obviously 5th isn't our goal, coming off of 2 podiums, so that's a little tough, but considering all the factors, you know, I think we came out on top, you know, considering everything.
So Ken is capable of great things on his motorcycle. We just need to be there to support him when things aren't going his way. And any rider's great when they're on. It's when they're not on, it's kind of up to the team, the people around the rider to kind of support them and help them in any way we can.
So the H.E.P team was a small group of people that, what can I say, we are a little bit on our own being up in Madera, but they have truly built a good program out there. You know, the track is really close by the shop, and the shop is big, and they got everything they need to make it happen. And then the people that are working for the team, we still go out to dinner, you know, when we went to the WSX rounds, and we make big team dinners, and everybody wants to be there. And I think that's, I don't know if you can say you don't see it too often, but I feel like when you're in factory teams, it sounds like more and more people just go off, and I understand that too, because those teams are a lot bigger, and it takes out a lot of time, but it seems like everybody goes their separate ways. So for us, we still go and eat together, we grill together, we everything we do is pretty much together, and everybody wants to be there. So that's what makes this special, and it kind of reminds me a little bit more of the GP days actually back in the day, because I feel like the paddock was hanging out a lot more and doing stuff, so it's awesome.
We welcome you to Monster Energy AMA Supercross, and here we are at the home of the New England Patriots inside Gillette Stadium.
Certainly not as bad as I thought it was going to be, honestly.
We always say that though, and then we show up to first practice and we're like, holy crap.
That's true.
I think the track's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be. It a little bit soft and greasy in between, but yeah, it could have been worse for sure. It's going to be just how it ruts up, and where it ruts up is kind of how the track's going to lay out.
Had some budget issues
so the track here in Boston is really rough. The conditions are pretty good, given how much rain they got here. And it's honestly similar to Seattle, like the dirt type, and like the dry parts are silty, the wet parts are kind of sticky and mucky. So there was no track maintenance for our free practice or the first qualifier, and the track is super rough, like just the braking bumps alone. And the thing is, the track is really tight and there's not a lot of different places to go. So that's where it's like, we kind of just have to hit the same lines. And yeah, they should clean it up for the next practice, and it should be a lot better, but it's tough out there.
But for the most part,
I think first and foremost, people are always quick to point fingers at bikes, and in the end, I'm not sure if we spent so many hours and years on the bikes that maybe we notice things that other people don't, but I think, to me, the bike had incredibly strong bones and suspension work, and I think the chassis of the bike and the overall bones of the bike were something that I at least personally gelled with. And yeah, I think maybe it's better to look at yourself and at the rider and see what you can do better, and try to go faster and get better results. So I definitely think the bike is obviously capable of winning.
Ready to go. Heat one of the 450s here in Foxborough. Let's do it. Bottom box, you're looking at Ken Roczen just ahead of Adam Cianciarillo. It was not a great start for Ken. He's worked his way back up to 7th. And that was quite the comeback from Kenny. Well done, Ken Roczen. He had to work hard for that 3rd place, coming home behind Hunter Lawrence. It's time to bring the action in the Northeast. 450 main, here we go!
Oh, Cooper wasn't able to triple right there. Kenny gonna try to get by, doesn't. Well, Kenny is gonna be tough as well, and the reason I say that, number one, he's super talented, and Kenny has really good throttle control, and I feel like that Suzuki motorcycle, its power curve, and how the delivery is on it's very smooth, or it has been in the past, which makes it very rideable in slick conditions like this.
Again, encouraging for Ken Roczen to be up there fighting for another podium, because there's been more than one occasion this year where it's been 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and not always his fault either. He's had a lot of adversity this year. This is another gutsy performance from Kenny.
The day was good. It started out a little rough. You know, we had to kind of tune the bike in a little bit. It's just one of those days that just started off on the wrong foot kind of thing. And, you know, we just kept working at it, you know, changing the bike and talking about different lines and stuff like that. And it got better as the day went on, and Ken performed when it mattered in the main event. You know, the heat wasn't as good as we wanted. The start wasn't that good, but all that changed for the main event. I think sometimes it's better to struggle a little bit in the day just so that you can tune the bike, and he's willing to make changes. But yeah, it ended up being really good. I'm stoked right now.
Yeah, so it was crazy to me that after the long time at Honda, and you know, Suzuki's weren't that much in the picture, so it never really like sparked my mind that was ever gonna happen. So, But then things changed and actually rather quickly, and I ended up going back to yellow and with Suzuki. And now that I think back, it's what a story it's been. And I've honestly throughout my career probably had some of my best years on Suzuki. You know, and I've been on this brand now for the 3rd time. And yeah, when we first got on it, we knew we had a lot of work to do, but just, I don't know, there was something to the bike that I think felt familiar to me and what I liked, and it was a big gamble about what we have been able to do. And with the whole team, you know, we've built an incredibly solid program, and I got awesome teammates as well, which makes this whole experience a lot more pleasant. And we've built basically a winning team, and that time of my life and in my career means a lot to me, and it's something that I'll remember the rest of my life for sure.
As we get ready for Monster Energy AMA Supercross, a part of the SMX World Championship from Nissan Stadium in downtown Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, we showed here in Nashville. It's Thursday. We're going to get all set up and ready to go and ready for a good weekend.
Yeah, so we have one of our spare race bikes. Bussin' with the Boys is going to be here, Barstool Sports, and they have a partnership with Twisted Tea, and the team does as well. So we're going to gift them a bike, and they're going to go out and ride a little bit. So it'll be neat.
Keep it. Yeah, dude. How sick is that? Can we buy that? It's got a name on it. Yee-hoo! You look sick. Good to see you, man. Come on. How you been? How you been riding this year? Didn't happen. Hey, right before Christmas, we're gonna get a bike. January, just right after the New Year, boys, we're getting a bike. Now it is. What's today? It's April 20th. It's my anniversary. And look at this. Bustin' with the Boys. Who needs numbers when you got a brand like that? This right here, that's custom, brother. Those don't just come out of the factory like that. They don't. What kind of pipe we got on here? Pro Circuit? Gotta buy that extra.
So that's...
You got the carbon fiber. This seat right here? Sorry, kids. You have to pay a little extra for that one, too. The boys here at Twisted Tea and Suzuki have hooked it up. Look at this. Look at the front. The saddest thing about this is Will does not understand how cool this is. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Yeah. Let's go, dog. You got Cheetos now? You might be having the best day ever. Who's having a better day right now, you or me? You having a better day? Or me? Probably, you're right. You're 100% right. So, can we drive it now or what?
Good, pretty good. Can't complain. What about you?
This is so cool. This is so cool. I'm ready for you.
Just get them warmed up so I feel like
I adjusted the clutch for him so it wouldn't do that, but
you started now.
Everyone be cool. All right, I'm very nervous right now.
pushing off the peg to hold yourself forward. So it's like I use my brake back here, then when I'm done, it's here in the corner and go.
This thing is so dope. I'm actually kind of happy I messed up a couple times. My name's Gerald Lewan from Bustin' with the Boys. We are outside of Nissan Stadium right now, and the boys at Twisted Tea just hooked us up with a bike. Not just any bike, not a stock bike. Literally a racing bike. Everything is race quality except for the suspension. They say there's just a little bit of tuning. Unbelievable. This is like the coolest gift I've ever been given in my entire life. I love it. Shout out Twisted Tea.
Talk about the vibes heading into Nashville race day. How's Ken feeling on the bike?
Yeah, I think vibes were high, right? I think being in Nashville, being in a city that's growing and kind of booming is always brings out the best in people. So, you know, I think going into the race, I think everybody was very excited to get a good result in and have a good time after. So going into the race, I think vibes were high, and yeah, we were looking to finish well.
I'm thinking this is just a weekend like all the other ones, basically, where they're being wet. So should be good for a night show, though.
The day started out a little bit slow. He was, we're trying different suspension. We don't put too much into practice because that's just kind of the preparation for the night show. But I mean, he was riding pretty good. I think we were just making a lot of changes, and he was having to be careful and figure the bike out. But you know, as the day went on, it got better and better. He's pretty much a gamer, so when the time comes to race, he's ready to race.
Racing.
Oh, look at that. Ken Roczen going to the outside instead of funneling down to the inside there.
Oh, Roczen is so good in the early laps. Look at the gap he's built already. Josh Hill. Oh, Roczen has gone down. We're watching the transfer battle between Josh Hill and Grant Harlan. Roczen has crashed.
Watch this inside. It is really, really hard and slippery. You'll see it's shiny. Okay, Kenny's good. Everything's right. Oh, he stalls it.
He did not crash.
Looks like he was, yeah, he just straight up stalled it.
Revs are up. Gates down. And Roczen making moves.
Kenny is so explosive early in races. Watch this guy. He's going for it.
Woo! Scrubs it and makes the move on Lawrence. Ken Roczen to second. Roczen catching Tomac for the lead.
This is going to be really hard to defend right here for Eli Tomac because of the explosiveness of Ken Roczen early on in these races. Saving track. Yeah, he's saving.
Oh! Roczen's bike.
His shock broke.
Shock is gone.
Yeah, his
and he
shock
got launched.
Oh, that was a shock, I believe.
And I've got to wonder that we see the smoke.
I cannot believe we're
in the whoops. That is the worst
and when it started to kick him up. Whoa.
I can't believe JT, I can't believe it. I just saw a Roczen. What are you thinking there?
Guys, I don't know what to make of that, but
Remember Nashville last year? Barsha goes down, Webb goes down. It feels so much like that, where everything just came apart in the championship all at one race. It has that same feel again here tonight.
And I want you to explain. We see that smoke, but sometimes the riders, it's behind them. He might not have known until it was in the. It happened almost instantaneously.
Yeah, it happened instantaneously, and if you go back to how he started to get kicked over the handlebars, the bike was kicking him. His feet come off the peg, probably because he couldn't have any grip because the oil, assuming it was a shock malfunction. So he's not going to have any grip with his feet to hold on to that motorcycle. But I just didn't like how. Let's see, we're going to have a little replay.
Was it the landing of the triple that did it? Was it the landing
so he's
here?
going to land. Boom! Yeah, that had to be. See, his feet are off the pegs. The bike just goes pogoing. It's so hard to tell and get really a clear view because of all that smoke.
Take us through what your initial reaction was as soon as you started seeing the smoke when you landed.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that's what it was. Everything happened so quick that I couldn't really, diagnose it, from where I was. And I figured that's what happened, just because of where the smoke came from, because of the oil out of the shock, and then the bike was bouncing around in the woods. So I was pretty dang sure that it was the shock.
What's placed on my plate at that time, making sure Ken is okay and getting Shane and Kyle through the rest of the main event. And luckily, Larry's there on track doing all of that. But definitely, as that main event was going on, we were, trying to figure out, if Ken was hurt, stuff like that. So in terms of responsibility, we just got to take the proper meetings, figure out why it happened, go over all the parts, and try and diagnose it. It's not an easy diagnosis, and yeah, it's something that we haven't seen before, and I don't think a lot of people have seen it. So it's yeah, I think those things happen at the test track. Not very much. I don't think it's happened, on national TV. So that's the unfortunate part, but. Yeah, tough night. Ken was in a really good spot, second, pressuring for the lead, and we had a mechanical failure that ended up with Ken crashing. So it's a really tough situation for the team. It's not something we normally see. To be honest, we had a shock fail, and it failed in a weird spot that we've never seen before. So we're trying to diagnose it and see what happened and see what we can do to fix it. Other than that, the initial diagnosis on Ken is that he came out good. So that's a plus, but he's definitely sore and we need to do some more checks throughout the week. So it's a tough round because yeah, Nashville's a fun city and everybody wants to have a good time and make sure we, have a good race, and we were looking to have that until having that mechanical. So very freak situation, and we're gonna have to learn from it.
So first and foremost, like when a rider goes down like that, I mean, I'm just worried about his health and how he is. I make sure that he's good, and then once we kind of take care of the rider, then the focus goes on to whatever the problem was. And we started peeling stuff apart and looking at it as much as we could. It was pretty late at that point, and I kind of took some parts home with me to have meetings and show different people what had happened and try to get some answers.
Yeah, I think going into Nashville, Ken was very locked in. So obviously, this year has been a little, I don't say trying, but we've definitely had some bad luck that took us. We're just on the outside of title contention. So that was a little bit tough because I know he wanted to compete for winning the whole thing, and so did we. That was our goal at the beginning of the year. But we still wanted to go in and chase podiums, chase race wins, and I think we set ourselves up good to do that.